Hello, my name is Aisha Yusufu. I don't know why I carry Naija matter for my head, but then after my 40th birthday, I said to myself that if God gives me another 40 years, I'm going to devote it to Nigeria, and that's exactly what I'm doing. And over this, it's 7 years into that 40 years, and over the time, what I've realized is that there's so many absurdity. Yeah, I got that right. So many absurd things are happening in Nigeria. One of them, it's about this cutoff mark where you have certain states in the country are supposed to bring out students that's supposed to get the highest number in getting into secondary school, and that's where it starts. And you say to a child that Nigeria is one. How is Nigeria one? How do you explain to that child that Nigeria is one when the child probably got 100 and something to go into secondary school and couldn't get in there, but then their counterpart in the same classroom probably got less than 100 and was able to go there? And you say to the child, Nigeria is one. Nigeria is not one. The child knows that. You know what they say about actions, speaking louder than words. But let me just focus on what I really want to talk about today on that cutoff mark is that you look at how absurd it is that when we are talking about cutoff mark, a certain region of the country are expected to come out with the highest number. But then when it comes to employment, that region, it's the one that you find when it comes to employment and appointment and all of that, that region sort of like it's kept aside. It's not the one at the forefront. You would expect that the region that is expected to churn out the people with that have to have the highest number when it comes to gaining admission and all of that, also when it comes to employment, those numbers will come out. For you to understand more, let me just go through this and for us to just get these numbers and more out of it. First of all, let me look at the last year, the 2020-2021 session and the common entrance exam into unity schools, secondary schools. These results were released. First of all, the government pegged 142 as the federal cutoff mark, around. And then we had three students recorded the highest scores. And these students are Umio, oh my goodness, please, I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce your name very well. I'm sorry, you understand? I should do better. So I'm apologizing before I actually go ahead. Umeo Onyagu Chinua Crucifixio? Oh, that reminds me of Harry Potter. That is it, the crucifix course or something like that. But anyway, Umeo Onyagu Chino Crucifixio is from Anambra State, and he got I don't know whether it's a he or a she, got 199, and then out of 200 marks. Wow, some people have brain. Followed by Onwa Manam Udochukwu from Enugu State with a score of 198 out of 200, and then Salam Miriam Aderemilekun from Lagos State who scored 197. So these were the three students with the highest number of scores. But in Nigeria, by the time you go on, you'll be looking for this. You will expect to see these names, right, in places where we're talking about merits at life goes up, but most times it doesn't happen that way. So this were the federal for the last the 2020-2021 admission that just came through. But for me, the most important thing, it's on the issue of this cutoff mark. So I'm going to read the cutoff mark. This was for the 2018-2019 session, where they have the full cutoff marks of the 36 states and the FCT. In the meantime, let me backtrack also. So there's this thing about provision. The minister noted that was during this 2020-2021 admission year, that the admission criteria include 60% strictly on merit, 30% based on states representation in the unity colleges, and the remaining 10% to cover other sundry considerations such as special needs, gender, local community, biological children of teachers, PTA, school-based management committee, and old students association. So there's that for 10%. and then you have 60% merit. You will understand, okay, fine. In looking at things, you say, okay, in terms of affirmative action, sometimes you need affirmative action and all of that to be able to get people, even from slightly disadvantaged background, to be able to go up there. It's all understood, when you put this. But the problem now comes from when we're looking, if we look at all of this and look at what is happening at the national level in terms of appointment, in terms of employment, in terms of using this federal character, you find out that you would expect the people where the highest number is expected to come from while you're getting into school should be where you should be having the highest number of appointments, and then this other 30% or whatever, you choose it from this other side. But that's not the case that we have. Let me go back and take us to the full cutoff marks of 36 states and FCT, right? So we have here, so it's a bit upside down according to states. Now let's look at, you have Abia State is supposed to have 130, Adamawa is supposed to have 62, Akwa Ibom is supposed to have 123, Anambra is supposed to have 139, Bauchi 35, Bayelsa 72, Benue 111, Borno 45, Cross River 97, Delta 131, Ebonyi 112, Edo 127. I have a problem with that. I'm from Edo State. Why are you giving me 127? Please give us the highest number. Our brains are not less because we are from Edo State. Anyway, but we have things like Kano has 67, Kebbi 9, and then for male and then female are expected to get 20 there. Zamfara has 4 for male and then 2 for female. FCT Abuja 90. So in other words, really, what I'm just trying to point out here is the fact that we expect the highest number to come, cutoff mark actually comes from the eastern part of the country, yeah? And then yet, when you're looking at the national, the appointments and all of that, you don't see that much representation from the eastern part of the country. So the eastern part of the country, the western part of the country, the south part of the country are supposed to bring the highest number of marks in terms of cutoff. At that level, primary school, the cutoff marks are higher, but yet when you look at the national issue, it's those with the lowest cutoff mark that seem to be in places of position, and you're wondering why Nigeria is upside down. How would it be upside down when you're being led by the least amongst you? Yes. If you're saying you're educationally disadvantaged, if you're saying that, oh, you need low cutoff marks, some even need 2, where other people need to bring 139, you need to bring 2 marks to get to get admission. And then when it is now time for employment, when it is time for appointment, you go to the civil service and everything, you find this chunk number of the people who are supposed to have brought lower cutoff marks are the ones that are in position of authority. They are being given the appointment, they are getting the employment and all of that. How is that working? And then we sit down here, we're imagining and we're praying to God. That's our favorite pastime, right? To pray to God that things will work out very well. Things will work out very well. Honest to God, it won't. Sorry. Things won't work out very well. Things will work upside down, because in all of the things we have people upside down. So when you're not using your best brains to actually get things to be in position of making decisions and getting things to work, there is no how anything will work out very well. Things will definitely be upside down. That's what we're having in Nigeria today. It's really sad until we begin to drop our sentiments and actually go out to get people who have the most capacity, people who have the best brains. It doesn't even matter, even if they are not Nigerians, bring them in. Why should our fund be run by a Nigerian? Why must it be a Nigerian? If you have somebody that you can employ who is good, whatever part of the world they are in from, bring them in to do the work. And you get the place running, you get the place working. That's what is most important. Why should our refineries be in the hands of, it has to be citizens or something? No. Get the best people to be working in there. And as long as you don't have the best people doing the job, you continue to have the kind of problems that we are having today. And you're wondering why we are not winning the war against insecurity. Because we don't have the best brains to fight insecurity at the table of making decisions. So people that are there, it's basically based on where you are from, maybe your loyalty to whatever cabal or whatever is there. That's what is most important, not your competence, not your character, not your capacity, not your ability, your strategic thinking, not your patriotism, not your ability to get things done, but just simply, oh, where were you born into? And then we think that the terrorists will not be having the upper hand. Definitely they will, because we're giving them the opportunity by us not putting the right people in the right office. Oh gosh. You know what? Nigeria is just that country that we just get you. Sometimes you're like, oh my goodness, what's happening? But like I've always said, nothing that Nigeria throws at me that will make me give up on this country. I fight for the next generation unborn the way I wish others had fought for me before I was born. If all of these fights were done for me before I was born, even born into Nigeria, guess what? I won't be fighting this fight. I'll be fighting more sophisticated fight. Like fighting for the rights of bees to have flower to pollinate. I would rather be doing that fight than fighting for human beings not to be killed in their own country. See you later. Thank you.